What's up, guys? Welcome to a bonus episode of the So Wavy podcast. I am your host, Danny. And yeah, if you have come from the main pod, then you would know that I said I was going to do a bonus episode to make up for the week that I missed because I was sick. And I told y'all in the main pod, if you haven't listened to the main pod, go listen to that. Go listen to episode 10. I just finished recording it, and it should definitely be up by now. And y'all should be hearing this like the next day. Um, so yeah. So in this episode, I am going to be focusing on the Power Universe. And if y'all don't know what the Power Universe is, it's basically a show on Starz that is executive produced by 50 Cent, and it has been around and out since I think 2016. But they have done like a couple of spin-offs and everything, so it's kind of one of the most anticipated, one of the most watched, the most loved series on Stars. So I want to just kind of talk about it and get my thoughts, because there's a lot of things that have changed literally over the past couple of days within the Power Universe. And I wanted to come chat with y'all about it, see what y'all think. So basically, I'm gonna be giving you guys my thoughts on the Power Universe, what my favorite shows are within the universe, some unpopular opinions, and some predictions. So I'm not gonna make this too long, y'all, because I can really sit here and talk about this forever. But yeah, so let's get into it. Before we do that, make sure you are subscribed and following the podcast on whatever podcast platform you listen to me on, so you can know every time a new episode drops. Also, if you want to see the visual of this episode and all the other episodes, make sure you go to my YouTube channel, Danny Price TV, and subscribe there, and you will find me and you can see my face and see what I'm doing. And you can look at some of my other videos that I post on there, some other content that I really would love for y'all to engage with and look at. So yeah, let's get into it. So speaking of the Power Universe, I'm just gonna give y'all, if you don't know, if you're not familiar 100%, or if you're just new to the whole Power Universe thing, all the shows that are in the Power Universe. So the Power Universe consists of the original Power, which is just literally called Power. Power Ghost Power Book 2, Raising Kanan, and Force. So those are within the Power Universe. A lot of people always try to group in BMF within the Power Universe because 50 Cent executive produces that, but it's really not a part of the Power Universe technically, but people kind of group it together. But I'm not gonna be focusing on BMF. Um, I'm really focusing on the actual Power Universe. So yeah, so like I said, it's the original Power, the first ever Power, which had 6 seasons. Power Ghost Book 2, which has 4 seasons. Yeah, 4 seasons. I think. Yeah, their 4 seasons coming up. And then you have Raising Kanan, which has 3 seasons, and then Force, which has 2 seasons. Um, so each of these series are very popular. They do very well, honestly. Amongst the people, people seem to love them, gravitate toward them. Like I said, so for me, my favorites within the Power Universe are Raising Kanan, and then Ghost Power Book 2. Now, if I have to choose between Kanan and Book 2, it's really hard choice. I like different things about them. Um, but I don't know, y'all. But those are just like my two favorites. I really the first Power had to kind of grow on me a bit, and I was a little bit late to the Power Universe party. Well, I really wasn't that late, but I was kind of late. Like, it came out in 2016. I did not start watching Power until maybe 2018, 2015. No, it came out 2015 or 2016, and I didn't start watching it until like 2019, I think. So I was a little bit late, but by the time I watched it, it was ready to be on its last season. So I had a lot of binging to catch up and catching up to do. So it took me a while to, get to that point. But by the time Power Book 2 came out, I had finished all of the first original Power. So from then, I've been very consistent on watching them. So I'm literally all caught up within the Power Universe. Right now, none of the Power Universe is on TV. BMF is currently on. And if y'all are like really avid watchers of just all of 50 Cent shows, you know it's like a schedule. Like, it's always Raising Kanan, BMF, Power Book 2, and then Force. And then the cycle just starts over again. So, yeah. So right now, it's none of the Power Universe, but BMF is out, which I said y'all know, kind of Power Universe, kind of not. So yeah, that's kind of like a little backstory on how I got into Power. And I was a little bit late, and if you have not watched all the spinoffs yet or nothing, like, don't feel bad, y'all, because it's a lot of content to consume, and some of the times a lot of stuff is hard to get through, especially if you don't know like the backstories and stuff. Just take your time. But once you get into the thick of it, y'all, you can't get out. It's too good. It's just too good. So if I had to pick my least favorite out of the whole universe, it would for sure be Force. Now, Force did grow on me. But when it first came out and I watched that first episode, I was not impressed and I really didn't like it too much. And I stopped watching it until I think season 2 started to come out. Then I was like, well, I want to watch it. So I watched the rest of season 1 and I was very impressed. It did pick up and it was really, really good. And season 2 was good as well. It's still my least favorite, even though it's grew on me and it's better. It's still my least of the favorites. Like, I wasn't 100% sure about a show focused on Tommy because I didn't really know, like, his character was interesting and he had a lot of layers to him, but I feel like it only worked so good because of like his connection to Ghost. So yeah, that's kind of how I felt, and it definitely grew on me. And I hear a lot of people, say the same thing about it. Like, they say that it kind of like took time to grow on them, or they didn't like it at first. So yeah, that's my least favorite. What about y'all? Like, if y'all had to pick a favorite and your least favorite in the whole universe, what would it be? And I'm gonna put it as a Q&A on Spotify. So if you are listening to me on Spotify, you'll be able to answer that. If not, you can comment on the YouTube video of this episode and let me know what your thoughts are. Like, what is your favorite, out of the universe, and what is your least favorite? So getting into my unpopular opinions. So I have a few unpopular opinions that I feel are not like, they're just unpopular opinions. I feel like a lot of people don't feel this way, but this is how I really feel, and I definitely want to hear y'all's feedback on this. So please, interact with this podcast, with this bonus episode, because I want to hear y'all's thoughts on it. So my first unpopular opinion for the whole Power universe, specifically Power Book 2, I personally think that it makes sense that Power Book 2 is ending. So if y'all haven't heard, after their 4th season, which is coming up, is it their 4th season? Yeah, after their 4th season, which is coming up, they are being not I ain't gonna say canceled. The show is just ending. So it has like 2 release dates. So part 1 is supposed to come out June, and then part 2 is supposed to come out in September. I'm not sure if they're doing just like one long episode and they're in parts, or if they're doing like episodes and then stopping and then picking it back up and doing episodes. I'm not sure, but I think that it makes sense for it to end. Tariq in the series, and sorry y'all, this is gonna be full of spoiler alerts, okay, if you haven't watched it, because he's in college right now and he's ready to graduate, I feel like it makes sense for them to end it, because it's mainly focusing on him in college and him, like, his life in college, and trying to work his way so he can get his trust fund so that he can take care of his mom and his sister, and everything that's in between there. So I don't think that they can keep dragging it out, because he's a junior in the last thing. I think he was a junior or still a sophomore. I don't know, but it's moving to the pace like you can't really keep going for so many seasons. Now, I did not expect them to end it like this. Um, I was thinking maybe it could have got a season 5 to really wrap it up, but maybe they're just gonna wrap it up with what they have. So I want to see how it's gonna end, because a lot of the cast did not think that they didn't know. Allegedly, they didn't know when they was filming that it would be the end. So I want to see how they kind of ended it. Or if they have to go back and shoot some stuff to kind of finalize it. But if y'all didn't see, like, Michael Rainey, the one that plays Tariq, he said that he didn't know anything about it. He found out when everybody else found out. So I don't know, but I do think that it makes sense storytelling wise for it to end. And I know a lot of people do not like that, because book 2 is a lot of people's favorite out of the whole universe, and it's really good, y'all. Like, it, like, from the first season to now, like, it's really good. So I don't I don't know, y'all. I just really do think it makes sense, though. Like, as much as I hate to see it go, I think that it makes perfect sense for it to end. All right, y'all. So my next unpopular opinion, I got all these written down so that I won't forget. So I feel that the original Power had a lot of episodes that dragged on and was a little bit boring and hard to watch at times. And they ended up getting 6 seasons. I feel like it could have been condensed down to maybe 5. Honestly, like, it sometimes it was hard for me to watch, especially because I was kind of binge watching it in a way. So when it got to certain seasons, I forgot what season it was. It just was boring to me, and it was hard for me to continue on. Like, I wanted to see what happens because I know it was so good, but it had like parts of it that just dragged on. So I feel like they really could have wrapped it up sooner than they did. And also thinking about it, also going back to Power Book 2 and it ending, this will be its 4th season, and the original only got 6 seasons. So I really didn't think it would go past the 6th season. I did, though, think it would at least get 5 or 4, but then you gotta think about it. A lot of the times these series follow, like, the timeline. So this is season 4. That will make 4 years of Tariq being in college. So I mean, but back to this unpopular opinion. It just dragged on. Like, the original Power dragged on sometimes, certain episodes, countless episodes, honestly. And not almost every season, but definitely the older ones, the end ones, the later seasons, I mean, definitely dragged on. And I feel like the seasons, they could have did it a different way, or they could have shortened it out. But all in all, though, the original Power was really good, and it had a lot in it, and it set the foundation for all of the spin-offs and stuff. So I give it to that. But it definitely had episodes that dragged on. I had lost interest at some point. I was like, okay, like, come on, like, what you gonna do? Like, do something. Like, I can't even remember. It's been so long, y'all, since I watched the original Power, so I don't even remember, like, what seasons I'm talking about in particular. But I do know that it was certain episodes and seasons that just kept dragging on, and it was annoying to me. But I love Power, though, so. All right, next for my next unpopular opinion, Raising Kanan is the best out of the whole entire universe, especially storytelling wise. So I feel like a lot of people think that either the original Power is the best because obviously it's the first, or Power Book 2. Now, like I told y'all, Power Book 2 is one of my favorites out of the whole universe, but Raising Kanan has done such a phenomenal job at the storytelling of their show, and I can see it continue on for longer because of the way that they are setting it up and the way they're writing it, the way they're kind of adding new characters all the time, but also getting rid of characters. But the storyline is continuing, and we haven't even hit the surface of why Kanan became what he became and everything. So, I think Kanan even got arrested maybe at 19 or in his early 20s. Right now, Kanan is just 17 or 16. So there's a lot of room to cover with it and a lot more to go. And they are on season. They just finished season 3, so they'll be on season 4 next time. And I think they end up getting renewed for their next season. Um, but it's the best one. It's the best one out of. It's better than the original Power, and I know that's a little controversial take because how can it be better than the original, like where the story comes from, but the way that it's set up, the storytelling, the way it just is in general, like it's just better. Like it's just better. It's the best out of the whole universe, and I mean it, and I'm standing on it. It's the best storytelling wise. The caliber of the actors they choose, everything. It has everything that you need in it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, so my next unpopular opinion is the new Tommy and Ghost spinoff is the most anticipated, but I feel like it might be the worst in the universe, in the whole universe, the Power universe. And I say that because it is so anticipated because since Raising Kanan come out, people have just been asking about, where's young Tommy and Ghost? Where's young Tommy and Ghost? Where's young Tasha? Like, we want to see like that on Raising Kanan. And the the writer of Power was like, they're not doing that. You won't see Tasha and Tommy and stuff in the original. I mean, in the Raising Kanan. And when she said that, people was like down. But see, what I've learned about 50 Cent and the people over there at the Power and Starz, honey, you don't know what they got going on, what they're coming with. Because I don't even. I'm gonna get into that in a second because it's one of my predictions. But about this whole spinoff in the other season being canceled and stuff, we'll talk about that in a minute. But I feel like because it's one of the most anticipated and they already have some very successful spinoffs and they're holding it to such a high standard that I think it's going to be the worst in the universe. Like, not do I think it's going to be like lackluster and it's not going to be as good? No. I mean, if it's not going to be good, I do think it's going to do well and it's going to be good. But I don't know, y'all. We'll have to see. But I think because it's so anticipated and people have so much like high hopes for it, and compared to all the other spinoffs, I feel like it might be like not as good as people think it will be. Um, and I want to really see how they're gonna do it. And I think for this particular spinoff, the casting has to be A1 because they did so good with the Raising Kanan casting, and casting Makai as Kanan, aka 50 Cent. Like that casting was like top tier, and the casting of like Jukebox, like top tier. That you have to bring that same energy when you come over to the spinoff. And I feel like this one is going to be a lot more intricate. Like it's gonna be you're gonna have to do a lot more to it to really sell it to the people. I do think it'll do well, like I said. And I know they got it. They've been doing this for years. They got it. But y'all know how sometimes you anticipate things so much and you have high hopes and it just falls flat. So I feel like that might be the case, and I don't want to say that because I'm excited for it. Like, I'm really excited for it, but like I said, I have high hopes, so I know everybody else do. Like I'm like, okay, yeah, they better come with it because Raising Kanan was great. Power Book 2 is amazing. Freaking even Force is getting up there. So you gotta make sure when you do the spinoff, you gotta do it. I think it's called Power Originals or Power Origins or something like that. So yeah. And then my last unpopular opinion is, which I already stated, I think the spinoffs are better than the original Power. Um, I believe that Raising Kanan and Power Book 2 are better than the original Power. Force is still growing on me, y'all. I don't want to say they only on season 2. I'm gonna wait till they get to season 3 to really like judge it. But right now, I put that one next to like the original Power to a certain extent. But the spinoffs are just light years better than the original, I think. All right, y'all. So now I want to give y'all some of my predictions of what I think is going to happen in the universe next. So my prediction is one of them is there's going to be another spinoff after Power Book 2, or some sort of merger with Tommy's force. So when they made the announcement of the new Power Origins original, whatever it's called, I was like, okay, excited. But then when they turned around and said that book 2 was going to be canceled, I was like shocked a little bit. But like I said, it makes sense for them to end. But I just don't feel like that's going to be the end of Tariq's story, because Tariq is such a pivotal part in the whole Power universe, and they still have Tommy's show going on, and he and Tariq are in the same time, like it's the same time frame. That I can see them doing some sort of merger show between Tommy and Tariq. So like maybe they work together. Maybe, I don't know. It might not even be called Force anymore. Or, it might be something, it might be a whole new chapter of the book. So I can see that happen. Like another spinoff, some like aside from the Power Origins one, but another spinoff for Tariq's story and Tommy. Like I feel like they will be together at some point in something. And yeah. So along with this prediction, I think there's going to be some sort of another spinoff for Tariq and Tommy. I think in that said spinoff or however or merger or whatever it's going to be, that Ghost is not dead and he will make an appearance or return. Now, I know that's far fetched, and the creator was like, Ghost is dead. But if you a real Power fan, you know if you don't see a body, they is not dead. Look what happened to Yumi in Raising Kanan. Everybody thought he was dead, but did we see a body? No. And what did he turn out to be? Alive. Yeah. So I think Ghost is not dead. And y'all remember, if y'all go back to the original Power, you didn't see nobody. All you seen was the funeral. You didn't see nobody. You see him in the ambulance. You seen the funeral. You seen like the ambulance thing and the funeral. You didn't see nobody. You didn't see nothing. So I think that there's gonna be some sort of merger or like something with Tariq and Tommy, and like Ghost will make some sort of appearance or come out in some sort of way or something. So that's kind of like two predictions in one. All right, my next prediction is that there will be some sort of Power Universe like movie or limited series to wrap up the entire universe and put it to an end, because we already have done the book 1 of the original Power and we have the book 2 which is ending, but then you went back in time to do Raising Kanan to get that backstory for the original Power, and you're also going to do the Tommy and Ghost backstory that ties into the original Power. I feel like, and this kind of goes along with the first two predictions of some sort of like merger show or something that they're gonna do to end it all out. And I feel like it's gonna involve like Tariq and Tommy and like Ghost making an appearance. Like maybe Ghost will actually really die in the next, phase of it. I don't know, y'all. But I feel like I can see some sort of movie or limited series, like a couple episode thing to wrap up the whole universe and kind of bring it all together and really just end it, because there's so many components and facets of it and so much they can tell like with it. So yeah. And then another prediction, I didn't write this down but I just thought about it. My next prediction is the way that they're going to format the next couple, like the next spin-off, and how they're going to be able to do another like merger show with Force. I think that they're going to give Raising Kanan a couple more seasons. They did 3 seasons. I could see them getting 2 more, because Kanan will then be like almost like 19, and that's kind of where Tommy and Ghost kind of come in, because Kanan is in jail for a while, so you can't really tell his story when he's in jail. And once he gets out of jail, what kind of happens in the original Power. So I think that they're gonna give Raising Kanan a couple more seasons. And to follow that next, like the last 2 seasons or season, you're gonna get the Power Origins the originals of Tommy and Ghost, and that'll kind of take you up until I guess closer to how the original Power is, and then all you have left now is Force, which is it's like in today's time, is not a flashback. That's where I think that the merger will happen between the two, and between the Power Book 2 and the Force, and then Ghost not being dead. I feel like that's gonna tie in together at the end. But like I said, I can see that being either one big show, one big movie, or one type of limited series. And then my last prediction for y'all, and I'll wrap this up, is that I think that they will come out with some sort of book series for Power. I feel like Power is such a lucrative brand, especially for Starz and just for the writers and stuff, and people love it so much. I can see this being a book. Most of the time, you see like books turn into shows, and I'm not sure if if the writer of this wrote some sort of book before about Power. I don't think so. I've never seen it, but I definitely can see this being a very popular like book series. Um, that I can see people really like, reading, because with the something that you can do with books that you can't sometimes do with series is add lots of detail and a lot more to it to really get the story across. And I just think that it would just be a good book series, for, future generations and, people to, look at. But I don't think it was a book or anything, but I can see it being a book for sure. And I want to. I love reading, so that'd be right up my alley. Um, but yeah, y'all. So that is kind of my quick little like Power Universe explanation, my unpopular opinions, my thoughts, what I think will happen next, and all that good stuff. Comment below if you're watching this on YouTube if you agree with any of my unpopular opinions or predictions, and also share your unpopular opinions and predictions. Like I said, if you're a Spotify listener, you'll be able to answer the Q&A, where I'll ask you kind of what's your favorite Power Universe show, what's your least favorite, and all that good stuff. So yeah, y'all, if y'all want more of me doing like deep dives into series and different shows, please let me know. Like I told y'all on the main pod, I don't 100% know where I want to take this podcast or what it's going to morph into and what I want to focus on as far as topics, or I want to mix topics or add more topics. So I'm just kind of testing the words out to see kind of what you guys enjoy, what you like to hear me talk about. So please make sure you interact with me on the post so you can, let me know your thoughts and your feedback on everything. Again, make sure you are following and subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you're listening to me on, so you can know every time I drop an episode, especially when I drop bonus episodes like this one. And if you want to see the visuals of all the episodes and the bonus episodes, as well as other content that I make, be sure to head over to Denny Price TV on YouTube. And like I said, I will put the playlist for the You Gotta Listen series somewhere on my YouTube, and it'll definitely be on the podcast social media when I make it, so you can check that out. I update that constantly depending on the episodes that I do for You Gotta Listen. So that You Gotta Listen is a full podcast show. I mean, a full YouTube show over on YouTube, not a podcast. So yeah, make sure you guys check that out. And thank you for listening to all my episodes, especially this bonus episode. I wanted to make it up to you guys because I didn't post. I missed a week, so I wanted to give y'all another episode, for your listening pleasure. So thank you guys so much, and I will be talking to y'all very, very soon.